Hello, this is Way of Weinstein, wherever you may be and however you may be watching, live in the financial district of New York City, Facebook Live and YouTube. Here talking the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Season 2, Episode 10, All Alone. And this does have spoilers like all my reviews. Spoilers. Alright, so let's get started on the Season 2 finale. Okay, so Rose goes to the psychic, and the psychic's not happy. She just looks like she just wants to clock in her hours, whatever, doesn't give an F, whatever. And the psychic says that she's in front of a big crowd, and Rose wants Midge to get married so badly, she'll literally believe anything she says and say that's a wedding. And then she's the eye of everyone's affection, someone's affection. Like thinking, oh, that's Dr. Benjamin. And like, oh my God, a wedding, thank you so much. And then as soon as she leaves, she's like, well, why would someone wear a black cocktail dress to a wedding? Which we all know that is stand-up, which I guess she was actually right, saying that is foreshadowing for the future big shows that she's going to be doing. Now, I really enjoyed the flashback of the night that Joel and Midge got engaged. How you could see how in love with her he was. That he was willing to stand in the middle of traffic until she said yes. And he started playing the song from the show that he took her to see 3 times, which is her favorite. And she finally says yes. He didn't get the father's permission, and it didn't end well. Then, and flash forward where we see Abe really seriously vetting Dr. Benjamin, like hard. Like I've never seen anyone vetted this hard for anything to get Midge's hand in marriage. And he's saying that I need 25 character reference, I need your political affiliations, hobbies, books, medical records, and literally everything about him. And Midge sees this now and saying that, like, are you worth it? 4 patients have already died. It's like, yes, I am worth it. I'm guessing that was probably a joke because I don't think that as a surgeon he'd be that careless to let 4 people die. So I'm gonna assume that that's a joke. And alright, so then cut to Joel's office. So Ethan says that mommy has a friend, which is referring to Dr. Benjamin, and Joel's not a fan, which obviously he's not, because he still loves her, but I guess he just doesn't want to be with her, which, I don't know, I think he still does, and I think there's still a chance they could get back together in Season 3, but I don't know, maybe not as in a formal way, as either getting remarried, or they never got divorced, so I don't know exactly what the technical term would be. And when Midge is saying to her mom, saying like, what about this dress? What about this dress? It's not fair to Benjamin to make him wait. It's like, no white, second wedding, and you can wear champagne in, which honestly I don't know if that was a thing back then, that you didn't wear white for a second wedding. I don't know if that's a thing for now, that if you don't wear white to a second wedding, that champagne is the color. I don't know if that's a thing for the show. I don't know if that was back then. I don't know if that's real life. Someone fill me in. And then from there. So this is something that really kind of gets Abe in trouble, where Abe asks about mentioning like him and her act in DC. And the whole thing was that she was saying how he's working on this project for Bell Labs, and he's listening to Ethan's records and learning how to go to the bathroom. And if he has to learn how to go to the bathroom from those records, does he not know how to go to the bathroom? and who taught her to go to the bathroom. So, and this scene, which I had no idea what the outcome was going to be, when Sophie Lennon's secretary requested for Susie to meet with her. So I was really confused what that was about. Did she just want to give her shit, or was just wanting to yell at her? And so then we go on until we actually see them meet, which I'll get to that later. So the Joel and Midge confrontation, when Midge is picking up the kids, she's late. They talk about Dr. Benjamin meeting the kids, saying, I don't want like another person to meet the kids. Midge tries to be like reasonable, saying that I said I agree with you. He shouldn't have met the kids. He just came up there. And then saying, if I'm too unreasonable, why don't you leave me? All right, you already did. It's like you left me first, and then you left me again. Which they still love each other, but they're not in love with each other. I don't know. And then Joel and Archie they were taking some good swings. I mean, drinking beers, talking about their lives. Archie keeps saying 3 kids. Joel saying how a year ago he messed up his life. And Joel has the idea of opening up a club, which I don't know if Joel's going to go through with that. I mean, we'll see. Maybe he will go through season 3. And so then we see Abe at Bell Labs talking about Midge and saying how she doesn't know what's going on. Don't threaten my family. And he wants to quit, and I think he's going to, but he threatens them, and he's just not happy there, and saying how he marched on people like you, but who knows what he's going to, because I can't imagine he's going to give all that up. Okay, so Midge back at the comedy club. So no, this wasn't right. I get it, but I didn't like when she's talking about how her friend Imogene had her 3rd baby, how when she talks about being pregnant, how the manager literally just gets up there and just like literally pretty much kicks her off, which I wanted to hear more about that. And that seemed maybe like her tipping point, that she just wanted to quit comedy. Then from that, she runs into like Lenny Bruce at a bar, and saying how he's got all these people that want warrants for his arrest, and like the people of Wyoming are about to see their first Jew. I thought that was funny. And so then Midge was telling Lenny how when Ethan went for his first play date, she waited outside just in case anything went wrong, just for moral support. And Lenny really likes this, and Midge agrees to go to the, I wrote it down, the Steve Allen show, which I guess was some big show or just a made up show back in the 60s. And he's like, who couldn't use some moral support? And I like the relationship that they have as friends, as a mentee mentor relationship. So I like the dynamic that those two have. And okay, so back to Susie and Sophie. So Susie's just ready to eat shit, take it on the chin for Midge. She's apologizing, and at first she's saying, "Get out, not you, the dogs." And Sophie compliments her passion, saying that even when I had like two hitmen out, you're still alive. I want someone that's as passionate as that for me, and will do whatever it takes for me. And asks her to be her manager. And you see her leave, and she's got this beautiful fur coat, and she's like, what the? Because she's in shock of what happened. And this was one of my favorite scenes of this whole entire season, when Shy Baldwin calls Midge, and it was saying how come this girl isn't a star, referring to her, and she absolutely loved her on the telethon. And he just cuts to the chase and says, how would you like to open for me on a 6-month tour, 3 in the States, 3 in Europe? And without thinking about Dr. Benjamin, her kids, her parents, Joel, anyone just says yes at the drop of a hat, just because she realizes, like the painter, like Declan, she was saying that in order to be great at something, you need to put everything else aside and put this first, which I've heard loosely that some people say that the character of Miriam Midge Maisel is based off Joan Rivers, which I never saw Joan Rivers do stand-up or don't know that much about her when she was young, so I'll just have to take people's word for it. But overall, I love the idea of her opening for Shy. I think that would be a great place to feature in season 3, episode 1. And then from there, she's screaming out of excitement because she's so proud of getting this gig. And then she runs to tell Susie the news. She talks about getting revenge on Sophie, and Susie's like, I don't know about it because her allegiances are kind of torn. And at first, she's like, I have something to tell you. And then she looks like she's going to tell me, like, my underwear is fine. I don't need to go underwear shopping. And she decides not to tell Midge about the meeting she had with Sophie. And then we go back in, so we're around 10 minutes left in the episode. And Abe tells Midge very excitingly that, excitingly is not a word, very enthusiastically that he has good news and he's made a decision regarding what. And he's saying that after thoroughly going through Dr. Benjamin's information, vitals, and all the other stuff, even though his reading list was not accurate because he made up some authors, he's decided to let him marry you and give Dr. Benjamin his blessing. And even though Midge didn't give her dad any words, you could just tell by the expression in her eyes that she completely forgot about Dr. Benjamin and she's not going to marry him. And it kind of, you could see how it broke his heart, and don't tell your mother because it's going to break her heart, because her mother just wants her to be married to anyone. And why not a doctor? So then from that, Abe has this heart-to-heart with Rose, saying that he's just not happy with Bell Labs and Columbia. And what we find out is that Columbia owns their really nice apartment. And I'm really not sure what they're going to do. I got to think that unless they can get a big settlement from the lawyer, because when Abe meets with the lawyer and says it's going to be messy, I can't see him leaving that because he's a tenured professor. And so we go to Lenny, and ironically this episode is called All Alone, and he's singing All Alone. He absolutely kills it on the Steve Allen show. That at Midge was great support for him. And now we go to the final scene of the season. So Midge goes to Joel's office to tell him that she's going to open for Shy Baldwin. He's really happy for her. And she tells him that she's going to be all alone for the rest of her life. And she didn't think about anyone else when Shy asked her to open. And she says that she doesn't want to be alone just for tonight. And she really needs to spend the night with someone who loves her. And she knows that Joel loves her. But just they couldn't work it out. So then the season ends with them two embracing with a kiss. And the screen fades to black. And that is season 2. So where I think season 3 could start off is her on tour with Shy Baldwin. If I want to flash back to the night that she had with Joel, and maybe a call with Dr. Benjamin, breaking things off. Because she did cheat on Dr. Benjamin with her husband, who she's was planning on getting divorced from. So I guess her going to Joel and not Dr. Benjamin, because obviously Dr. Benjamin loved Midge, and I guess still loves Midge, but out of the people that and men that love her, she decided to go to Joel. So that's it for my thoughts on season 2. Right after this, I'm going to do a special bonus video on what it was like to be an extra and some special on-set stories. Make sure to stay tuned for that. I'll be doing that in a couple minutes. And if you like this video, like it, share it, write a comment. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to my YouTube channel at Way of Weinstein.